name is Zephaniah. I'm a poet and an illustrator. I'm going to do a little bit of both for you this evening. I'm going to start with a rap about one of my favourite things, and one of the reasons that I was more than happy to come back and perform here, and that's tea. This is called Down to a Tea. Woo! I'm a little teapot, not short nor stout, too hot to handle. Here's my spout, Earl Grey with a dash of milk, or maybe go without. Feeling zesty, fetch me the lady of the house. I'll have a cup of oolong, don't let it brew too long, or it'll come out too strong. Lapsang, souchong, royibus is red bush in Afrikaans. You should try it if you haven't when you have the chance. A censure a day keeps dementia away, not to mention the way it can strengthen the brain. And when I'm feeling rough, full of phlegm in the winter, I whip myself up a cup of lemon and ginger with a bit of honey like the Dalai Lama makes it. I wonder how Barack Obama takes it, because he must like tea. He's a Kenyan, damn it, and Kenya's among the top tea producers on the planet. Though to be fair, Kenya is equally known for making coffee, so I'm not making much of a point. Can someone stop me because I make mistakes? I'm only human, but I make a cup of tea like my name was Truman. I'll have an English breakfast at Tiffany's, go lightly on the milk, just a little tease. Gee darling, I'll have a Darjeeling, first flush top shelf in the far east wing. I'll have a pu'er when I'm feeling fine. I like a chai when it's night night, sleepy time. Jasmine has been a friend to me, it was meant to be, she's the blend for me. I'm keen on Keeman from Japan, and I'll have a cup of Yunnan with my nan. But whether Rassam or Russian caravan, give me tannin here. I can spare the liver damage, never drank a can of beer. And no coffee, I don't need the boost, yo, it's not really my bag, I'd leave it loose. And if it's not a cup of tea, it's not really my cup of tea. I don't mean to be uppity, but this cup is my property. Like Doc Brown said, well I'm the professor, you know, I've had more blends than a food processor. Check out my stash if you fancy popping in you. I smoke my rock and hash, I drink my rock and mint. Tea stains are insane, although they're not really tea. Flavours of flowers, of fruits, shoots and leaves, and while they smell great, the taste often isn't impactful. The only one that matches up is Turkish apple. But tea is at its best with a little accompaniment. Milk, sugar, lemony zest, whatever compliments. Scones or scones, the jury is out. But give me jam and cream, Holmes, I ain't fucking about. And you can bake a little cake, or if you don't want to risk it, nip up to the shop, pick up a packet of biscuits. But which of these? You want crackers with cheese? Chocolate chip cookies? Bitch please, give me rich teas. Or digestives, a couple of packs, because it's your prime directive to stock up on snacks while I get the kettle, relax and kick back. Hey, your kettle, it's pot, can I call you black? Woo! Thank you. Woo! Very much. So as I mentioned before, I'm an illustrator as well as a rapper, and I've been experimenting with different ways of bringing drawing to the stage. So I'm going to do a little thing for you now that I did last time I was here. It's a little interactive drawing game. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you for some suggestions of words, and I'm going to combine them into a drawing. So I'm going to do an animal combination. So I'm going to ask you guys for various animals, and I'm going to pick about 4 or 5, and I'm going to splice them into a chimera of some sort. So, animal suggestions, please.
Flamingo.
Flamingo, okay.
Hammerhead shark.
Hammerhead shark, okay, excellent start.
Toucan.
A toucan, okay.
Turtle.
A turtle,
Yeah.
okay. One more.
Leopard.
Leopard, okay. So, flamingo, hammerhead shark, turtle, leopard, and toucan. Let's see what we can do with that. I apologise if your view is obscured. I'll leave this up after I'm done if you want to get a look at it. So I think start with the toucan's beak. Gonna have the head of the hammerhead really. Okay, somewhat obscured by the beak, but not to worry. So, got a leopard, so we'll get a leopard's tail in. Turtle shark. Scaly little turtle legs in there. I guess we're going to have the flamingo's legs, ridiculous as they are. frequently happens. Spots on the tail there. Okay, and I think that's about done.
Whoa!
Have a sharp feet of a toucan, tail of a turtle, tail of a leopard, and legs of a flamingo. Thank you very much for your suggestions. Oh, that's that. Can I take a picture? Okay, thank you very much. Right, I'm going to get back to some poetry now. So this poem was inspired by the two greatest actors in the history of British horror films. I'm a big fan of horror films, and a lot of my poetry circulates around it. So this is called The Horrors of Cushing and Lee. 57 was the year that it all began, starting with Hammer Films hiring Jimmy Sangster when he would write a script that would change the game and bring Hammer and its stars worldwide acclaim. Cushing was the first of the actors signed to Terence Fisher's The Curse of Frankenstein, and with one film they changed the course of horror history. Peter Cushing's Doctor and the monster played by Christopher Lee, and literally they brought horror back from the dead, shot to the eye with a splatter of red. The first Technicolor horror, and they splashed the screen with Kensington gore and lashings of green. Cushing was mean, more snide than Colin Clive, a subtler performance than It's Alive! But in Karloff, he left big shoes to fill, one of the hardest reboots to choose to film, and while Cushing brought a sinister charm and eloquence, Lee's creature scenes leave a lasting resonance. When the relevance of old school horror was fading, Hammer brought it up to speed when it needed saving, and Lee's amazing, nay, he's spectacular, so it stands to reason that he should play Dracula. 1958, a year later, and the guys are back with Peter Cushing as the one man wise to Drac. He's still a doctor, but he's the man helping. First he was the Baron, and now he's Van Helsing. A fight to the death, and the stakes are high. One mistake, he'll die, so he takes his time, and he waits for light, knowing vampires can't handle it. Finishing him off with a cross made of candlesticks. Thanks to script drip with finesse, and a little bit of blood from its victims next. But which was next to follow up this big success? Because Chris was set to star in many pictures yet. There are countless counts, but Lee's better than most. See, inconceivably, he even beat Bela Lugosi. Well, I mean, mostly, and he comes out at night. Pallid and ghostly, see him once and you'll die. Embodying the creature from Stoker's mind, terrifying with a minimum of spoken lines, but he broke the silence with his victim screams. A wildly different animal from Victor's beast, but Chris can squeeze himself to fit the picture's needs and always brings a sense of gravitas to lift the scene. It doesn't matter if they're starring in a serious story or a tacky bit of horror that's just silly and gory. They were bringing the A game to the B movies. If they are the main names you can see through these questionable flicks with ludicrous scripts, not so special effects and gratuitous tits. It's ruined a bit when all but these two are just shit, but they made over 20 movies, quite a few are legit. Like The Hound of the Baskervilles, one of the best. Dr. Terrace House of Horrors on the Horror Express. If the creeping flesh makes you scream again, it's nothing but the night of the big heat then. There are other films of their own independent careers. Christopher Lee's work spans 70 years. But by the 1990s, Peter's health declined, and he died, leaving behind 6 Frankensteins. He lived a long life, running the same lines, but Christopher Lee played Dracula 9 times. Sublime as he was, the role, it took a toll. You could even say it took a little bit of his soul, for it led to a lifetime of typecasting the villain of the limelight. Quite nasty, and fast he became the go-to Brit for when you needed someone evil for your monster hit, and he rocks it, even when he's barely trying. 6'4" with a roar that could scare a lion. Channeling the devil, he could chill your bones. Delivery on the level of James Earl Jones. He just wanted the opportunity to be good once. Peter was seen as sweeter, so he could jump from one to the other. He played plenty of bad ones, but he also got to save the day, achieving the balance that Lee never reached. Though he wasn't a bitter man, his proudest work was the seminal Wicker Man. No, not the Bees, not the Nicolas Cage one. I'm talking 70s, with Lee as an evil pagan. Didn't need remaking, and they really fucked it. Now back to the reputation that Lee was stuck with. Here's an example of what I'm trying to say. Tolkien himself chose him as Gandalf the Grey because they were friends and he surpassed the villain. Then when they made it, they gave the part to Ian McKellen. And yeah, he's compelling, but Chris not only lost out on it, he was cast as an evil wizard, which seems cruelly ironic. He is brilliant as Saruman, like no one else could be. I just think it's bad he never got the chance to be good. Lee was always successful, so he couldn't complain. It's a shame, though, he rarely got to show his range, and so it came to be that he would join the fray in a galaxy far, far away. Peter did the same when it was new and hopeful, but Chris got there late to a slew of woeful CGI battles and stunts with Yoda. Now the Frank Oz puppet might have won me over, but the fun was nowhere. This was episode 2. They dragged in Chris to play Count Dooku. Even 50 years later in a sci-fi fantasy, they called him the Count, only guy in the galaxy. But Lee, he agreed, and how do they give thanks? Playing pranks on him. They gave Yoda fangs. He was 80 years old. That is pitiful, please. Don't try to make fun of Sir Christopher Lee. But Peter, he got it even worse than Chris did. That shit they did in Rogue One, that was twisted. The man is dead, let him rest in peace. You can't just CGI him into the Death Star scenes. It's messed up, please. Just leave the dead be. Though I see the irony, given his cinematic library, it's curious a man who played Frankenstein would be brought back to life by a man's design. As a fan's desire, I can see the thinking to it, but that doesn't make it okay to then actually do it. He's not a property, he was a noted actor, and he's been immortalised without motion capture, but that doesn't matter. They were both delightful. I just found all that upsetting. I don't mean to be spiteful. The very finest actors and the best of men, they were thespians, and they were the best of friends, and the rest depends if you have a taste for these old horror movies that are laced with cheese and pasty fiends. Not for everyone, but I've been watching Hammer Horror since I was very young with my mums. For me, it's just in my blood. He's terrible whether or not you think they're fun. You simply cannot ignore the important legacy of these performers. Nothing short of legendary, but it's a given. You don't need to listen to me. Just go watch the Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. Rest in peace. Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you very much. So what to next? Okay, so next up, this is a poem about my fear of technology, which has been on my mind again this year, with obviously our kind of reliance on technology accelerating even more in the pandemic. This was written about 5 years ago, I think, maybe. It's telling because it references that they're only up to iPhone 6 in this poem, and they've done a lot since then. So yeah, this is called Technophobe. If you like this, this is the only piece for which I have a music video. It's on YouTube, and it's got a beat by Nick Van Gelder, if you know who he is. Anyway, yeah, this is Technophobe. I'm a technophobe, a Luddite. Call me a dinosaur, but I say feck autocorrect. That's what your mind is for. Keys in your hand, but you still need to find the door or you're locked in. Head full of bull, just like the Minotaur. Machines are great for their invaluable assistance. We just need to keep them at a go-go gadget arm's distance, because I'm afraid where obsession will lead, and we need to take heed of our insatiable greed for speed. It's all instant, it's here and now, but humanity's growing distant. I'm fearing how this world will be by 2033. They said we'd make it that far without a World War III, because the technology is there to wipe all life from the planet, and in the hands of simple men, you might just misunderstand it. But war isn't what scares me, it could never happen. It's virtual reality and planetary mapping, life seen through a screen, and the adverse lies in the fucked up world of targeted advertising, infecting every aspect of our daily lives, dissecting us like assets with their shady spies in disguise. But these guys don't dress like 007, they hide inside cyberspace, so don't let them get to you, because if they do, they'll enslave you so rapidly. No need to take our freedom, because we'll give it up happily as we buy our own chains in forms of entertainment, blind to the psychological detainment. And the pace of this race is disgraceful. It's just weighted by speakers in a week already need to replace them. So quick, so fast, Google Glass, make me sick like the pricks took a class reading Philip K. Dick, but it's fiction. Isn't him wishing, didn't they listen? It's a vision of our mission to imprison our free decision. And it isn't just Phil. Remember George Orwell, H.G. Wells, or Aldous Huxley's Brave New World? That was 80 years before now, yet we still provide our hates and fears with more power to control us and hold us, locked in convenience. It takes more to cook a meal than just the right ingredients. Think about it. Kick up a stink about it. Evil will prevail when good people do nothing about it. Keep calm and carry on, silent and scared, or else wander through life blissfully unaware. The worst problem is not knowing that the problem is there. We don't know where smartphones come from, and we don't really care, but where do they begin? Life is under the ground. These rare minerals are minimal, can only be found in Congo. Isn't it wrong though to take them with force? Yet more people have been killed there than in the fucking Holocaust. That's a fact. Just let that sink in. We're talking genocide. What the fuck are we thinking? I speak the truth, but no one else is reporting this. Every day we're all inadvertently supporting it and grabbing up a tablet without a second thought in it, while children are getting killed all about some unimportant shit. Capital of rape, 10 years of war, so we can have an iPhone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and these dicks just keep bringing them out, making the hand towels bloody, then just wringing them out and slinging them out. But what's this joker singing about? I'm in the thick of it, I'm sick of it, I'm really just a hypocrite, but every day I want to smash my phone up into little bits. I wouldn't use it for shit if I didn't need to, I'd hit it with the spirit of Miles Dyson and T2. But I'm trapped in the land of the laptop, and I would go hungry if I hadn't got wrapped up. Back to the top, I was talking about Congo, and every man, woman and child killed for a dongle. The implications and the ramifications of our gratification are racing beyond frustrated. I hate we're not debating this nation's annihilation, and it's blatant that it's making us vacant and incapacitated. We need to wait and slow down this operation, because these days in automation are raising the complication and erasing our patience, replacing imagination. Could have googled in the space of a second all rhymes for creation, but I didn't. I used my brain. I could have made it easy, but I choose to train, because this is a muscle you can lose or gain, and all these gadgets badgering me make me lose my trail of thought. What was I saying? Oh, I forget. That's my memory I'm losing from using the fucking internet. The truth is hard to swallow, it's much easier to follow, but I got a bad feeling about this, like Bollo. I tell it like it isn't gonna coat it in sugar, because I'm the hate child of Jarvis Cocker and Charlie Brooker, but I'm sorry, I don't mean to be all doom and gloom and assume we're all fucked, that there's no wiggle room for improvement or movement in the right direction. Though it's hard to keep my mood up and write this section. But machines are fascinating, from the big to the tedious. They're the pure manifestation of humanity's genius. We just need to show a little restraint of reverence before we get drowned down in the sea of irrelevance. All these elephants in the room will step in soon. The Arctic and Yellowstone Park, and it could spark quickly. If it did, we'd cease in a big freeze. But with a little elbow grease and a bit of common sense, we can live our lives in peace in this mecca providence, because technology is not evil. We start it and we stop it. The problem comes down to people and the pursuit of profit. Don't tell me our money, don't know how long it would take. Suffice to say, it's the human race's greatest mistake. But back to the matter at animatronic hand. In the rise of the machines, you better know where you stand. Use them wisely, remember where they came from, and don't rely on them so much you spell your own name wrong. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the themes of that poem are maybe a little bit heavy for the kind of chilled Friday night dinner vibe. So I'm going to lighten the mood now with a little bit of drawing combined with rap. I did this last time with the smallest audience I've ever done this for, which was quite a nice change. But yeah, this is called Drawing a Crowd. I'm going to do my best with these screens. Now, you might have seen before I came up here before you, me drawing a portrait. I might have even drawn you. Because I just sketch whatever I see in front of me. You're created from my head because illustration is fun to me, fundamentally integral part of my personality. I'm dispelling banality by retelling reality. I make lines of ink, unwind and think, and I can make a picture or 1,000 words that rhyme and sync. So then I thought, why don't I try and combine the two? Draw a picture of the room while I'm rhyming too. That's what I'm doing. I'm just sketching everybody in the space, all the faces and races, people from different places, each with their own unique story to tell. The history, a mystery to me and everybody else. My passion is catching the essence of our identity, immortalising moments in time and what they meant to me. See, I've been sketching every day of my life, maybe delirious, but I could draw before I could walk. I'm fully serious. I didn't walk until I was 2. My parents took me to a doctor, but he didn't have a clue what was stopping me. I guess I just wasn't very interested in moving, just drawing what I saw and more. Tried to improve my station in life with patience, strife. It started as a hobby, now my job, preoccupation and wife. She's a cruel mistress, but I love her like my own kin. The paper that I draw in is as precious as my own skin. Every sketch I make is like a child to me. The thought of never drawing seems wild to me, because it's the only way I cope with the world that I'm faced with, and all the time I'm not making art, feel like I'm wasting away. Every day, every hour, every minute is a gift from the gods. Well, good odds if you're a cynic. Not that I'm religious, I'm an orthodox agnostic. I had a rule book and then I purposely lost it. But I digress, because I'm pressed and I'm dragging this out, so I should probably get back to what I'm talking about. Of artistic advice, the most sound that I've found: keep your head in the clouds and your feet on the ground. I might be tall, but not tall enough for that shit. Passing with the clouds, so I might appear batshit crazy or lazy, away with the fairies. I'm a space cadet, every day with a fairly vacant look, a paper book, a cup of tea, making portraits or characters for puppetry. Because illustration has endless possibilities, not just a bit of fun. I feel it's my responsibility to make a mark and make some art. I might never make it far, but I can make a start. And I'm doing it live right here, drawing a crowd. Combining art and poetry is what I'm about. I'm trying to memorise lines. It's a lyrical challenge, but drawing at the same time, that's empirical balance. Now I'm nearly done, just need a little time for finessing. It's hardly my finest work, so forgive me if it's messy. But you've all been part of an art unseen. Straight from my heart, I impart this scene to you. I hope you like it. Either way, it's been fun. So thanks again. You've all been wonderful. Dan. Thank you very much. Okay, that's me done. I'm going to leave both these sketches up here on the stage, so if you can't really see it from where you're sat, just come and have a look. Thank you all for participating and for listening, and enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you very much.
Thank you.